Okay, so the first one, we have X and 105, and that would be the supplementary. So I'm going to put the theorem in here. And my calculation here would be that X plus 105 equals 180. So X equals 180 minus 105. So X would equal 75 degrees. So then I'm going to put my answer of 75 degrees in there. So just kind of double checking your work here. The next one is very similar, but it's complementary. Remember that complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So here X plus 36 equals 90. And that's, we see with that right angles box in there. So X equals 90 minus 36. So then X is equal to 54 degrees. And I'll put my answer in that measurement box. So just double checking your work there. For the next one, for C, I'm going to try and use a highlighter to show where these ones would go. So I see a Z pattern here, that alternating angles with the X and the 107. So I would say that X is 107. A pen, not a highlighter. So X is 107 degrees, and this is alternating. That's also sometimes called the Z pattern. And I don't have any calculations to show because that's just equal to each other. And we can also see here that Y is opposite to the X on those intersecting angles. So I would get Y is also 107. And the theorem is the opposite angles. Okay. For D, we have X and Y. X, I think, is the easier one to see, that these would be opposite angles to the 80. So X would be equal to 80. And the theorem would be opposite. And there's no calculations there. For Y and D, we would have that that's 100 degrees. And we could calculate it with the supplementary. So that's supplementary. And Y plus 80 equals 180 degrees. So Y is 180 minus 80. So Y is 100 degrees. So we're subtracting there from the 180. So again, just double checking your own work here, guys. And these will be posted as well. For E, here I do see kind of immediately that Y is across from that 160. So that would be an opposite. So Y is 160 degrees with the opposite. Angle theorem, and then we see that X and Y make a Z pattern. So the alternating angles there. So I'm going to highlight that Z pattern where the X and Y would be the same. And they are alternating. So X is also equal to 160, and this would be the alternating. or the Z pattern. Okay. For F, this one has got a few different steps. I think that the easiest thing to start with is this 90-degree angle at the bottom. So these two angles, the X and the 54, make a 90-degree. So I'm going to use complementary. So X plus 54 equals 90. So we get X equals 36 degrees. And then to figure out Y, we can use that they're all supplementary. They all add up to 180. So Y plus 25 plus 36 plus 54 equals 180. So Y is 180 minus all of these other ones. And you should get Y is 65 degrees. So check your work for that one. This one's kind of similar. We have got a bunch of different angles. I would start with the X here because the X and the 135 are supplementary. They add up to 180. So I would say X is 180 minus 135. So X is going to be a 45-degree angle, and filling in the answer there. Now Y is across from that. So Y is going to also be 45 because of opposite angles. And there's no calculations needed. And Z we can figure out with supplementary angles because Z plus 45 plus 38 equals 180. So Z, I think, ends up equaling 97 degrees. Everybody good with those? Yep. Okay. So here we're going to take a look at H, and we have a few different things you could see here. I could start with X or Z. I think either one of those would work pretty well. I'm going to start with X just because of kind of alphabetical, and I see an F pattern there. I see corresponding angles. So I know that F is 59 degrees, just like that small angle. Then from there I could figure out that Y, because that's going to be complementary with my X. These make a 90-degree angle, so they'll add up to 90. So Y is 90 minus 59, so Y is 31 degrees. And then Z is supplementary with the 59. So Z and the 59 are supplementary angles. Z is 180 minus 59. So it's 121 degrees. Okay. Everybody good so far? And I. So a number of different places you could start here. I may just kind of go sort of alphabetical through here. I see the X and the 115 are going to be supplementary angles. So X would be 180 minus 115. So X would end up being 65 degrees. Then I see an F pattern with the 115 and the Y. See how that 115 is the same as the Y there in the F pattern? So I think we can go right to that. Y is 115, and those are corresponding. Which is the F pattern. And then for the Z, I'm going to look here at the C pattern, or the interior angles, and subtract that 100 from 180. So I would get, so the interior C pattern, I get Z equals 180 minus 100 because they're not equal, they add to the 180. So Z is 80 degrees. So double checking all of your answers there. Everybody good? And then this one, we have a lot of different stuff. We can maybe try to go alphabetical as much as we can. For A, I see that that's supplementary. I'm just going to call it SAT, supplementary angle theorem, because I'm really short on space. So A is 180 minus 105, which is 75 degrees in there. For B, I kind of like to look for ways that I don't have to do calculations. So I like that I see B as a Z pattern there. So B is going to be 105 with the alternating or Z pattern. Highlighting the next one, C. I see that we have an F pattern there for C, that it would be the same as the 98. So that's the corresponding. And I would go to E and say that I have a Z pattern there with the C value. So that's also 98. or alternating, sorry. We can figure out D by subtracting, so this would be 180 minus 98, which would be 82 degrees. And you could either use the supplementary with the 98 that's given, or a number of different, you could use C pattern or supplementary with the other one. We could look at F as highlight a different Z pattern. F is alternating with D. So F would be the same as D. It's 82 degrees. And then we would have over here, G is a C pattern, so we're going to have to subtract that from 180 with the 65. So for G, I get 180 minus 65, which is 115. And that's the C, or the interior. And H is the same as C because it's opposite. Okay. So hopefully you guys all have the right numbers there. Oh, I think I lost a 5 on that 75. Everybody good? The last one on that same page says one angle is 39 less than double the other angle. If the two angles are supplementary, what's the measure of each angle? So I'm going to draw two angles that are supplementary. So they add up to 180. So if one of my angles is, let's say, X, what would the other angle be? 39 less than double. What's an expression for that? 39 less than double. Double something?
320 or 2n minus 30.
Yep. So we've got 2 times the other angle minus 39. So if we know that these are supplementary, so this is a little bit harder, right? This is kind of a thinking question. Can you draw it out yourself? Now we know that these are supplementary. So we would say 2x minus 39 plus x equals 180. And then you need to solve this for x. So I'd have 3x minus 39 equals 180. 3x equals 180 plus 39. 3x equals 219, and divide both sides by 3. What do you end up with there? Anybody have the answer? (73 degrees). And you could always check. Do 73 times 2 minus 39 is 107. So 2x minus 39 is 2 times 73 minus 39, which is 107. And do 107 and 73 add up to 180? Yes, they do. Okay.